Oh my gosh, it tastes like butter and sugar.
It's like watermelon.
It's yellow. Time to find the propane line. Hey, this is Simple Living with Biata. I'm a wife and a mom, and I'm on this incredible journey of living life more simply, naturally, and self-sufficiently. Last year, we sold our 2,200 square foot home on 1/10 of an acre, and we moved into a 300 square foot trailer. We spent 5 months looking for the right land for our homestead, and we finally found it. We have 18 acres that we're making into a home from start to finish. This week, I'm doing my very first homesteading task on the new property, which is making maple syrup. And we lost our maple syrup boiling pan, so this week we decided to make maple syrup in a way we've never made it before. This week, we're boiling sap, making maple syrup, clearing the trees, continuing our homesteading journey. And it's honestly incredible experiencing all of these new things. And although making maple syrup is not a new thing for us, this is our 3rd year, but this is our first year doing it on such a large scale. So we're going out and checking all of our maple buckets to make sure everything looks good and make sure that the sap is clear. But we did get some sap that was yellow, so we tossed it because it was likely rainwater leaking in. Okay, so we don't have enough maple sap to pull out all the stops, and I lost my maple syrup pans. So I had to order new maple syrup pans from Amazon. I guess I'll just link them down below. But I ordered new maple syrup pans to go over our brand new wood boiler. They should be here tomorrow. But I have a big canning boiler that we're gonna use today on our outdoor camper cook stove. And I had to find the propane line, which was under our camper. And our camper has this green stuff on it right now, so I had to army crawl using this tarp here. So I got the propane line hooked in, and I'm gonna get the propane going out here. Hopefully it works. And then we're gonna start boiling some sap outside. So I'm trying to set this up in a way that's similar to the way we would do maple syrup in our big boiling pans over the fire. Right now I have one boiling pan and a larger warming pan, and I'm just basically at this point trying to get everything boiled down into one pot. And that's because we have 2 1/4 buckets of sap, and that needs to be boiled down to at least 1/40. Okay, so that smaller pot is halfway boiled, so it's got a lot to go, but I wanted to taste it because it's starting to get that amber color. I'm so excited. It's like a super sweet water right now. It would be a delicious drink in the summer kind of thing. What do you think?
Yummy.
Okay, here you go.
It's like a watermelon.
So honestly, I don't know if this is the best setup. It is taking so much longer than I thought I would to get everything boiled down. I think the fire is a much better option. Okay, so it got way too dark to film yesterday. This was boiling from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. and I realized a few things. I realized that I needed to keep the sap low in the pan so it could boil, and I realized that I couldn't keep a lid on because the liquid is trying to evaporate. So I put the strainer in between because it was raining, but that way the liquid could still evaporate and make a sweet syrup. What we did last year was we went out and got a cheesecloth and we put the sap through the cheesecloth and the strainer. So I'm gonna go do that now and let this continue to boil and go and grab a cheesecloth. raining, and it's going to be raining for the next like 3 or 4 days. So this is a good solution for when it's raining. Anyways, I wanted to give you an update. It looks so good, and you can tell that the boiling pan is a bit more viscous and darker in color than the warming pan. And the syrup still has to reduce quite a bit, and I don't even think we're gonna get a full mason jar. Oh my gosh, it tastes like butter and sugar. Ugh, so good. Okay, it's time to check the temperature and finish this maple syrup off. So you want your sap to get down to 212 degrees Fahrenheit before you bring it inside for its final boil. I brought mine inside a little bit early just because of how windy it was outside, and it was blowing the propane around quite a bit. The reason why most of the boil is done outside first and the whole thing isn't done inside is because the walls can get super sticky from how much everything evaporates. Next, we poured everything through a cheesecloth to just get rid of any of the impurities and dirt that got in the sap. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, next up we are getting the mason jar ready for canning. It's really important to clean your jar really thoroughly, and I like to boil water and pour it over my jar to get it nice and hot and to kill off any bacteria. And we are finally there. The syrup finally reached 219 degrees Fahrenheit after what feels like a lot of wasted time and a lot of wasted propane boiling this down. I definitely prefer the wood boiling method. And lastly, I poured it through the cheesecloth one more time, which didn't really feel all that necessary, and I probably won't do it again because it made it a lot messier, and I think I wasted a lot of maple syrup doing so. So we made about a cup and a half, maybe a little bit more of maple syrup out of 2 1/4 buckets of sap. So that is a lot of work. Next week, we're using our wood boiler for our maple syrup, so make sure you tune into that. I really love doing the wood boiler maple syrup because the syrup ends up having like this buttery, smoky flavor, and it's really, really good. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this week. Make sure you like and subscribe, comment what you've learned. I'd love to hear from you. It also really helps push out my content to more people who want to learn. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye.